Behind Britain's front doors, a battle is brewing.
He hasn't had his rent for ages. He's owed 24 grand, Bob.
It is disgraceful.
On one side, 11 million renters.
This house is hell for us.
Thousands of whom fall victim to rogue landlords.
They are rat droppings.
It's really, really nasty.
On the other side, 2 million private landlords.
I'm being down clean of sewers.
Many facing financial ruin at the hands of tenants from hell.
Oh, disgusting.
I'm just so angry.
Let's go.
In this series, we follow the heroes who take slum landlords down
Start a fire, electrocute somebody.
and the experts whose job it is to evict nightmare tenants.
Take that away, man.
Remember what the court said, you should have been out 2 weeks ago.
For a landlord, dealing with a tenant who stops paying their rent is stressful and costly. When that tenant claims it's the landlord who's in the wrong, the nightmare really begins. The rugged hills and picturesque villages of Snowdonia are not somewhere you'd associate with Britain's rental wars.
It's up there.
But Rachel Jacobson has found herself locked in a bitter battle with her tenant to reclaim the house that used to be her own home. Today, she's checking on its condition.
It's just heartbreaking to see it. And it was absolutely gorgeous little cottage. And now it's just been vandalised. Inside, she's taken wallpaper off the walls.
4 years ago, Rachel decided to put the cottage on the market when she was struggling to pay the mortgage on her own home. To bring in a little extra income, she decided to rent it out for 3 months while it was waiting to sell. Teresa Thomas and her partner applied.
I just showed them inside. They were saying, oh, how lovely it is. So that was it. She moved in the following week and she paid the 3 months in advance. I thought, great. A few months later, she said there's a lot of damp. So I said, I'll get the builder in to sort it. And she won't let the builders in.
Even when Rachel's gardener turned up, he was given short shrift.
I sent somebody to cut the foliage down and she called the police.
Rachel realised she'd made a big mistake, so asked her tenant Teresa and her boyfriend Alan to leave. They refused. And now, over 3 years later, after 2 trips to court and over £5,000 in legal fees and unpaid rent, there's still no end in sight.
It's very, very stressful when you've got somebody for, say, 4 years that won't leave. She just says, the only way you'll get me out is with a court order. Real nightmare.
This is not right, Rachel.
Just then, her tenant Teresa arrives home with her boyfriend.
Take some pictures.
Do not take any.
After months of legal deadlock, Rachel has learnt to tread carefully.
You being that property without permission will affect you,
Can't say anything.
right? You always get other people to do your dirty work, Rachel. I'm going to ring up the solicitor now. This is not right, Rachel. You spoke to me, and I would have gladly given you permission.
I don't think so. She just threatens. It is hard. You can't say anything. Very upsetting.
Rachel's keeping her counsel as she's hoping to finally get her tenant evicted soon. But with another costly court hearing coming up, she's desperate that this time it goes her way. With a serious shortage of social housing in Britain today, the demand for affordable private accommodation has never been greater. Making money out of vulnerable tenants who are desperate to find somewhere to live has become big business, as rogue letting agents and unscrupulous landlords look to cash in. It's 9 o'clock in the evening, and Gareth Brighton from Peterborough Council's housing team has had a tip-off about slum conditions and possible overcrowding in a 4-bedroom house.
It's a big house, apparently let to 2 people, and I don't buy that for a minute. It doesn't stack up. So who knows what we're going to find.
Gareth's carrying out the raid late in the hope of catching any unsuspecting tenants in, and is joined by plainclothes police, Hayley Smith and Ivor Krocholov.
There's 2 people on the tenants agreement. We've been trying to get into here for ages, so hopefully today's the day.
Let's go and have a look.
Oh, here we go. Hello there, from the City Council, police as well, and I'd like to come in and have a look. We need to find out who's here.
Hello, are you the owner?
Hello, how you doing?
Who's here at the minute with you? You all speak English?
Yeah. Are you all right doing the occupancy stuff?
Yeah.
So now I'll crack on. We've got Portuguese and somebody else.
Who's coming upstairs and how many rooms have we got?
2 bedrooms upstairs. I'll start with your room then. How many people in here? You and your wife?
Yeah. He charges us £120 per week, and we pay every week.
When you pay rent, do you get receipts?
No. I'm give
Cash?
cash.
Yeah.
There are only 2 people at home, a Greek tenant and a Portuguese tenant, Fabio, but neither is on the tenancy agreement.
He's from Portugal.
The team have found 4 bedrooms with lots of mattresses, and there appears to be more accommodation.
Can you check the outhouse for me? We've got a bed in the shed. We've got beds, some bedding and some clothing in here. Somebody might be living in here. Some sort of garage or storage area. It smells delightful in here as well.
It smells bad.
Although the team are told there are just 5 people living in the house, it appears tenants are crammed into every available space.
5 people. I anticipate there's probably more people, or certainly have been in the past, more people than that living here.
The tenants are paying over the odds in cash, and they're living in slum conditions.
Doesn't look as though the shower's working.
The shower doesn't work, so we have to take a bath by a cup. The kitchen is filthy, so we buy a microwave and a fridge, so we cook everything in the room.
The more you go through, the more you find. It's dreadfully grim. Got no restrictor on the window, very low sill height. You could just trip straight out and you're landing on the concrete below. Oh, look at that. That's reached the top. We've got a high level of moisture in the wall. So damp that my damp meters actually go straight into the wall.
We have to hang up clean clothes, but they never dry.
Christ, look at this.
The mold
is pretty bad. Yeah. This is bad around the window. It's cold in this room. This isn't working with no heating in here.
And for my wife, it's really bad.
Does she have like asthma and things like that?
She has asthma.
Yes.
The house is not only in poor condition, potentially affecting the tenant's health, it's also positively dangerous.
Electrical hazards and fire. Got no functioning smoke alarms. Okay.
No.
We've got a join here. Got another join here with sellotape. Up and over the top. And another join there with sellotape. That's got to come out.
This can start a fire or something like that.
Yep. Start a fire, electrocute somebody. That's fine. So yeah, just remove that.
The conditions are so hazardous, Gareth knows there is only going to be one outcome.
I'll want to bring this property up to a standard where it's safe. I would imagine you will probably be moved out by the time that happens.
I lost the words, yeah.
I think you should probably start looking for somewhere else to go. In better condition as well.
This is really, really bad.
For Fabio and the other residents, it's a terrible situation. Despite the slum conditions, this house has at least been a roof over their head. Now they have to find somewhere else to live quickly, or they could soon be homeless. In North Wales, retired groom Rachel Jacobson has spent the past 3 years trying to evict her tenant, Teresa Thomas, and her boyfriend from her 2-bedroom cottage. The problems began soon after Teresa moved in.
She said the cottage is in terrible condition. There's a lot of damp. So I said, it's all right, I'll get the builder in to sort it. She said, oh no, don't get the builder in. I just wanted you to know. Meanwhile, she'd taken a lot of wallpaper off the walls. Then she got behind with the rent. So I took her to court for non-payment of the rent.
At that first hearing, Teresa claimed the cottage was riddled with damp and mould.
To my horror, she said to the judge the reason she hadn't paid the rent was because the cottage was in such terrible condition. But she wouldn't let the builders in to do it in the first place.
The court demanded a surveyor's report, and at the second hearing, Rachel received a bombshell.
The judge ordered that I pay £2,800 compensation to her for the distress I'd caused her. It's just a crazy world. But the way the law is, the judge will only listen to one thing. He wouldn't listen to me. What I said wasn't important. Just listen to her, because she was the one making the complaint. He ordered me to do the work, but she still wouldn't let the builders in.
Rachel claims that whenever she sent her builder to sort the problem, her tenant turned him away.
She wouldn't let them in before the survey, she won't let them in after the survey. He's been half a dozen times in the last year and a half. She won't let him anywhere near the cottage. It is an absolute nightmare, yes.
Now Rachel is going back to court for a third time. Armed with stacks of evidence, she's praying she can finally get her tenant evicted.
We've got letters from the builder she wouldn't let in, letters from the council and the gardener. They're just saying that they've tried on several occasions to do the work at the property and she'd refuse them access. But she's still maintaining that I'm refusing to do the work. Getting a bit anxious now. Oh, here we are.
Rachel fears her tenant will be at court to fight the eviction.
Bit butterflies now. She's turned up. She's in there. She's in the waiting room. Like that.
Most eviction hearings are over in minutes, but it's almost an hour before Rachel has the judge's decision.
Well, we've got the possession order, so that's good. And the judge said if she's not gone by 28 days, did she understand the bailiffs will be sent in? So at least I've got the cottage back.
For tenant Teresa Thomas and her lawyer, it's the end of the legal road.
Knowing that she's lost. Hopefully that's the back of her. Well, not for another 28 days. I think I'll treat myself to a Chinese takeaway and celebrate. No, it's all back to normal now.
Rachel now has to hope her tenant leaves without a fight. If not, she'll have to call the bailiffs in. Gareth Brighton from Peterborough Council's Housing Enforcement Team is checking on the slum property that he raided a week earlier. Because of its condition, he has no option but to deem the property
Hey mate, you're right.
unfit for human habitation.
I just wanted to have a chat with you and have a look at the house as well in the daylight.
Gareth's responsibility now is to the tenants like Fabio, who are about to become homeless. But the situation has deteriorated.
It's a lot worse to live here than before you came. Every night 10 different guys in here, eating, drinking, doing drugs.
Since the raid, nobody is collecting rent, and the property has now become a free-for-all, with all sorts of new people coming and going.
We need to move ASAP.
Yeah.
I'm trying to rent a flat. No agency rent us a flat.
Kids to provide 6 months of references and
Yeah.
things like that, credit check.
So how can we move from here if nobody rents us a flat?
I don't want to make promises. You know, it's no hardship for me to pick up the phone and make a few phone calls. Speak soon, okay?
Gareth knows that Fabio and his wife need a new home fast.
Have you got any vacant accommodation at the moment that would be suitable for a man and wife? No worries at all, thank you. I don't have a problem going a bit further for people that are quite clearly doing everything they can to try and help themselves, and they just found themselves in a mess that is not of their own making. Adam, have you got any accommodation available that would be suitable for a husband and wife? No. Have you got any vacant accommodation at the moment that would be suitable for a man and wife? Well, that's good for you, not so good for me. He's got nothing on his books at the moment.
Back at the house, Fabio and his wife Diana are desperate to leave because the house is becoming more and more dangerous.
We have to close the bedroom door because we can't trust anybody here. The bathroom is filthy as hell, and the toilet is sickening. This is the common living room that we don't use. It's dirty as hell.
It's horrible. So every single night, people partying in here.
Partying,
using
drinking,
drugs,
smoking. And this table is when the guys hit. And these rats all over.
Yeah,
but
I saw.
She told me
I
that.
saw today, actually.
And now the really bad part, the rats just jump up and down because to the rats, this is the happiest moment of their lives.
Diana believes the terrible conditions are playing havoc with her health.
I have asthma attacks almost every single day. It's feeling horrible.
Due to these really bad conditions of the room.
They're my oxygen machine.
It's just because she can have an attack at the middle of the night.
So I have to put my medicine in here, and then I just stay here. Yeah.
The problem for Fabio and Diana is they need to raise a deposit and first month's rent if they are to secure a new home.
I have a
12-hour shift at night.
At night, at nighttime.
I had days that I worked 7 a.m. in the morning until midnight to get more money to get the flat. So...
I just don't feel safe here. With all these people and this room, yeah, I just don't feel safe.
It's really, really bad. It's something that pulls you back.
It's not very good.
Fabio and Diana are trapped in a nightmare situation. Unless they can raise some money, they are at imminent risk of being made homeless. In Snowdonia, after a marathon legal battle, today's the day Rachel Jacobson's tenant and her partner have been ordered to leave by the court.
There they are, the keys.
If the tenant refuses, Rachel will have to pay bailiffs to forcefully evict her.
If she's not gone, that'll wipe the smile right off my face. It really will. Let's hope. Fingers crossed. I'm starting to feel a bit anxious now because I just want my cottage back. So this is the lane. She's sweeping the path. She's there sweeping the path.
How are you?
She's obviously hasn't left.
You stay there.
All right.
Rachel's solicitor, Phil Williams, attempts to reason with the tenant.
How are you? Not too bad.
Want to look around the other way? Please.
I shall.
She's going to fight this to the bitter end.
I'm going to have to ring up the police and my solicitor, because it's under Section 6 and number 8 of the Human Rights Act.
Just as Phil and Rachel approach the tenant to negotiate, her boyfriend Alan returns.
Move! I'm trying to please. Knock that property. Knock that property, okay? Yeah, come out my face.
Alan, stop it! Leave it. The solicitor should be on. Leave it. Leave it. Stop it. Now behave yourself. These people are behaving right.
I don't want.
Hey, shush. Just go on. I know you're upset. Come on.
Fucking bitch.
Stop it.
Judging by the amount of shopping the tenant's partner Alan has brought home, it looks like neither are about to leave. But Teresa does agree to talk to Rachel.
Rachel, would you like to come in now?
You didn't pay the rent.
She's still arguing she doesn't have to go because of the damp.
That's malicious. This conduct from you. You want me out from the first day I asked you to do repairs. You want me out because you're a nasty, unpleasant little lady. If I shove 5 grand in your pocket and ask you to walk away, but it got to this stage, well, great.
No, I want you out because you came here, you asked for somewhere to stay for 3 months because you were moving to Cornwall to live with your daughter.
Move out.
And after 3 months...
That's all besides the point. You were done for a breach of contract, Rachel. Dr. Rita told you. Have a good day. Bye.
She's quite mad.
She's not going to move.
She insists that I refuse to do the work.
Yeah.
And she said a builder hasn't been. Well Gareth's been. We've got a letter from Alan to say that she wouldn't let him do the work.
It's unfortunate now. We'll have to go back to court and get a writ or a warrant of possession.
Right.
I'm not the bad person in this. She doesn't want to do the repairs. If Rachel had did repairs in the first place, I wouldn't be here. She's made the excuse that I wouldn't let the builders in. No, that's not true. And even if I didn't let the builders in, can you think about it? All she has to do is go to the court and get a warrant to come into the property to do the repairs. It's all about...
It's so bizarre, such a crazy situation. I don't know. You just wait, what's going to happen next? What's the next trick she's going to pull? She'll pull something out of the hat, won't she?
It's clear her tenant has no intention of leaving without one last fight. Rachel has little choice but to pay bailiffs to physically remove her from the property. After 4 years and numerous visits to court, Rachel Jacobson still hasn't got her cottage back. But today, 4 weeks after she last visited her property, she's meeting the bailiffs to physically remove her tenant.
I can't see her leaving quietly. She's not the sort of person to do anything quietly. I've shed quite a lot of tears over the period of time that it's taken. It's just been so traumatic. Oh dear, here we go. Don't know if she's still in there or not. Car's gone. Oh my God. There's nobody here. Maybe she's gone. Oh. I'm itching to get in.
Rachel's also meeting her builder Gareth and solicitor Phil.
Hello.
Oh, good morning.
Good morning. She's gone.
She has gone.
Yeah.
Now the bailiffs have turned up, Rachel can finally get into her property.
Have you got keys for that door?
Yes. Thank you.
The locks have been changed.
Have they? The locks have been changed.
The tenant has changed the locks and left the keys out of reach inside the house.
Would they be reachable with a broom handle?
Possibly.
No, it's not going to be anywhere near long enough.
They're having to break in. He's thrown the keys halfway across the room.
No, I'll go to the other lot.
And we just needed something long to pull them out with.
All right. Want to get that 3 metre black down tight?
With a bit of wire on the end and drag it out.
To get it.
Oh!
You've got the keys now.
Can we have access to your property?
In you go then.
Oh! We've got access. Got her out. Oh, thank goodness. Hasn't it been a long time? Oh! Smells of dog, doesn't it? Everything's gone except the settee and a chair. Horrible smell. And yet the dog died some months ago.
Finally, Rachel can see for herself the alleged damp and mould that has cost her so much trouble and money.
Oh! Well, I thought this was going to be absolutely black. Only a bit of mould at the top. What she made all that fuss about? What I can't understand is the photographs from the surveyors, that was absolutely black and covered in mould in the photos. A black wall full of mould. Where did those pictures come from? But that's perfectly dry. Absolutely dry as a bone. This is where she's pulled the paper off the wall to try and prove how dreadful it is. There's nothing wrong with these walls, they're dry. I mean, it's scruffy and it wants cleaning up and redecorating. But she was saying there's water running down. That's why she wouldn't let anybody come in here. Not that because it was so bad, it's because it's not bad. There's no mould anywhere. Just in that corner, which it always had a little bit of mould in that corner. And I've been fined for making someone live in mouldy conditions that are bad for her health.
Oh, no, it's just insulation, I think.
When I went to court, the judge looked at the surveyor's report, but wouldn't let me tell them that she won't let anyone in to do the work.
Never given access. Both times that I've been to my own house, but I could never get access. She'd refuse it constantly.
You just sign date there to take possession back. Well done.
Your keys, madam.
Oh, thank you.
Lock's changed. And there's a happy lady over there in the far corner, at last.
New locks, new keys.
Are you happy?
I'm happy now, thank you very much. We did it. Bye. I think I'll just go home and relax and know that the nightmare is over. And just be happy with that. I won't go out and celebrate. I'll do that when the cottage is all done up and it's back to the way it used to be.
For Rachel, who 4 years ago only wanted to rent her home out for 3 months, the clean-up can't start quickly enough. She's also going to pursue her former tenant for the outstanding £2,400 she's owed in unpaid rent. Losing a loved one is traumatic at the best of times, and the process of dealing with tax and inheritance can be challenging. But it gets a whole lot more complicated if the home you inherit comes with a nightmare tenant. Paul Champlina from Landlord Action is on his way to an eviction that's got personal. Over a year ago, the landlord inherited the property from his father and with it, his father's tenant.
The tenant used to be a friend of the father's. His father unfortunately passed away last year, and Nikel's left the property, and he's owed rent arrears.
For landlord Nikhil Desai and his mother Varsha, it's especially galling, as the tenant was a family friend and paying almost half the market rent.
We were close with the tenant. We had a good friendship, I should say, with the tenant.
Yeah, it's the minute he said, I owe you £4,500.
Yeah.
What are you going to do about it? When relationship's not two-way street, it needs to end.
Now owed almost £6,000 in rent, Nikhil and Varsha are hoping the tenant has already left, as things have become very acrimonious.
Here we are. Regaining access.
Been a long time coming.
Nikhil has no idea what he'll find when he finally gets into the property.
Very strange. Sort of anxious to get in now and just see where we are.
Morning.
Morning.
Nice to meet you, Paul.
Paul, hi, how are you?
How are you, okay?
Yeah, thank you. A little bit nervous, a little bit anxious.
Anxious? Do we know if he's there or not?
We know he's phoned Nick at 8 o'clock in the morning to say that he'd had a letter to say the eviction time was at 8 o'clock. Bailiffs were arriving at 8.
Yeah. Hopefully there's no one in there.
Paul knows that with emotions running high, if the tenant hasn't left the property, the eviction could be difficult.
Hi there. Paul.
The bailiffs turn up at the appointed hour.
I think he's left.
I'm just going to call the locksmith.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too long.
Oh, that might be him.
I am.
Hi there.
The locksmith is going to change the locks, as there's no sign of the tenant with the keys. Nikhil has been trying to get his dad's former tenant out for over 7 months, and is desperate to finally get into his property.
Almost over. Tried to keep my calm, but it is very...
Nerve-wracking.
It is nerve-wracking.
Just as the locksmith is about to break in,
That's the tenant.
the tenant makes an appearance.
Paul, that's the tenant. That's the tenant. That's the tenant.
Oh, right, OK. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. I think that could be our tenant. Excuse me. Excuse me. I think the tenant's driven off. The tenant has been spooked. I was going to ask him about the rent arrears. All right, we're in.
Thank you.
Let's go.
It's all clear, yeah? Lovely.
Property's yours. Got it now.
Thank
Have a good
you.
day.
It's taken 7 months and over £1,500 in legal costs, but finally Nikhil has the house in his hands.
It's just grubby, isn't it? It's all of this dirty.
Yeah, disgusting. Yeah.
Dirty. That needs washing down.
It's filthy.
Absolutely filthy.
These are the front keys.
Thank you very much.
The back keys and the shed keys.
Well done.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
They're out of our hair now.
Got your property back.
Got my property back.
Yay.
Get to work and
And you can start a new chapter.
really make use of it a lot
Start a
better
new
than
chapter.
it was being.
Yeah.
Lovely meeting
you
you.
very much,
Take care.
Paul.
Thank you, Nicky. Lovely meeting you.
Paul.
See you later. Take care.
Take care.
No, I've taken your dog.
Sadie, stay.
Nikhil can now finally start to enjoy the home that his father wanted him to have.
It's nice to have the place back.
Yeah.
It's been a difficult time for the whole family. Dealing with this is sort of...
It's been extremely tough.
Yeah.
Your dad would have been so proud of you. You know, he would have stood there right now saying, I'm so proud. My Nicky did this and my Varsha did that.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You know. Oh, it just feels so good, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Love you.
Love you too.
Love you, Sadie. Love you. Oh, gosh, I'm going to get emotional now.
That's a good boy.
After a 4-year fight, Rachel Jacobson has finally evicted her nightmare tenant. Rachel has now instructed High Court enforcement agent Paul Montgomery to collect the £2,400 she's owed in unpaid rent.
We're going to go and see Teresa. Having seen the condition of the previous property, I'm not optimistic that she's going to have goods of any significant value. But you know, could be surprised and could get in there. Could be a bit of an Aladdin's cave.
Paul has traced the tenant to her new house, but needs to get lucky because the law only allows him to seize goods that are non-essential and, crucially, worth the full amount of the debt. If not, he needs to strike a deal.
Hello, Teresa Thomas. Mr. Montgomery, High Court enforcement agent. I've come to speak to you about the money you owe to Rachel Jacobson. Right. That's my ID, so you know it's me, OK?
Come on. And let me in.
What I'm here today for is to know what your intentions are regarding repayment of the money that's owed.
Well, I dispute all of the payments to raise a certain... Because, you see, it's very complicated, and I understand you have got a camera on.
I need to make an assessment of whether or not there's any goods in this property of value to remove. What room's through here? Is this the kitchen?
No, darling, you can't go in.
I need to just stick my head in, OK? Listen. At the moment, I'm just looking what goods are in the property. If you get in my way, I'll hand up onto call police and you might get yourself arrested.
It's on my name.
Paul has to search the house to see if there are goods to the value of the debt. But because Teresa was Rachel's sole tenant, none of her partner Alan's possessions can be taken.
The Ford outside.
That's Alan's.
Can I just see the logbook, please? Thank you very much, sir. It's Alan's. OK. I need to sort out repayment with you.
I don't know this money. It was mostly paid by the housing benefit.
Teresa, my job is just to enforce the High Court writ.
You'll have to take £10 a week until the matter's resolved.
OK.
I get it back. That's the only way I can.
And you're telling me you can't afford to pay more than £10 a week?
Yeah, I've only got my payments.
OK. So if you've got your card...
As the social service told me, it can be stopped any time.
It's your decision. I won't take any more of your time up.
Unable to recover £2,400 worth of goods, Paul agrees a deal. Rachel receives a call to give her the news.
Hello?
Hi, is that Rachel?
It is, yes.
She has given us a direct debit. It's only £10 a week.
£10 a week or £10 a month?
A week.
Well, it's better than nothing. Thank you. Bye. OK, it's not wonderful. It'll take a long time to collect it. If she keeps it up.
At that rate, it will take Rachel 5 years to recover her debt. That's if she's lucky. At Peterborough Council, Gareth is following up on the property where Fabio and Diana are living in dangerous slum conditions. He's decided to prohibit the building from use, which means that the tenants will be homeless within weeks. The problem for Gareth is, to force the landlord to carry out the repairs, he needs to trace them.
The owners may not be living in the UK, and I don't have an address for them, so I'm serving notices on all interested parties, on all addresses I've been able to obtain through my research. Can't really do much more than that. By far the worst thing out of all of this is Fabio and Diane, but ultimately we've got to safeguard their well-being.
But the couple have had a change in fortune. Fabio's boss at the coffee shop where he works, Elder, has stepped in and lent them the money for a deposit on a new flat. And today he's also helping them move.
Hello, new place. Happy new beginning.
Well, I hope so.
Their new property is a one-bedroom self-contained flat. It's costing them just £50 more a month than what they were paying for their room in the shared slum house.
It's really beautiful. How wonderful is this?
We have a shower in the bathtub.
Really big and beautiful. Look at this. Shower. How gorgeous is this? Finally, I can cook some meals. Oh, it's different.
Welcome home. This is your place now. Don't be late to work tomorrow.
Thank you very much. So, yeah.
Yeah, finally.
Two months have passed since Rachel Jacobson evicted Teresa Thomas from her Snowdonia cottage. So far, she hasn't received a penny from the £10 a week she's been promised, but at least she's been able to get the house and garden back to its former glory.
Oh, here we are. This is a bit different. It's nice and fresh and clean. This is the room that the wallpaper had been torn off halfway around. It's all been replastered and painted, and it's nice and clean now. It feels like you can live in it now, and it smells sweet.
Rachel discovered why there was such an awful doggy smell in the house. When clearing out the furniture, she got a nasty surprise.
There was a settee and a chair there. All the cushions were torn and dirty, and there were actually rats in them. So it wasn't very nice.
She got another unpleasant shock in the armchair on the patio.
That's the armchair with a rat in the corner. A close-up of a rat in a chair. That's another one. To find the rats falling out the furniture, that was horrendous. I heard from the neighbours that she actually fed the rats out of her hand. She was feeding them as pets. There was a box. The cat slept in there at night. When I pulled the blankets out, half a dozen dead rats fell out of it. They were sleeping in the box. The last 4 years have been absolute hell. It's been a terrible nightmare. And now it's all over, and I'm elated. It's wonderful. Got my little cottage back. It's all nice and tidy. It's just wonderful to get it back and get it straight and get life back to normal again.
Rachel only ever wanted to rent her cottage out briefly while she put it on the market. 4 years later, she's not making that mistake again. It's back on the market, this time with vacant possession.